Hey everybody, Ed here, and welcome to Sunday Retrospective, my weekly, well, I've done it twice now, so it can be considered weekly, look at what's been going on, and what's been going on. Crazy week for me this week, because it's been a two launch week, would you believe. One, we did a launch of Achiever Formula, which I was very excited about. That's the new process. Well, when I say new process, it's a mashup of three very good processes which I've seen have really dramatic impact for entrepreneurs, which is fantastic. But the other one, and this is the first time I've done this, is I'm actually a director of a launch. I'm helping Nathan Chan launch his Instagram product, and that has been fascinating because it's the first launch I've done using Agile and Scrum processes. Hello there, who's that? Bed bug reporter. Bed bugs scare me. I try to just ignore bed bugs. But it's been fascinating to see running a launch when it's not me launching the product. I've helped out on launches before. Hello from Chechnya. Wow, from Mooney Ponds to Chechnya. It's been ages. Well, it's the first time I've done that. But what's been really interesting is doing it using Scrum methodology. So what's that mean? It means that back in November, when we were planning the launch out, we created a backlog and a team board. The teams spread all over the place, all throughout Melbourne. We've got, who have we got? We've got people who are doing the pay-per-click campaigns. We've got people, Melbourne Video, who are doing the video of the launch. Nathan's team, which produced all the amazing, sort of opt-in reports and so on. John Bass, who's running all of the Infusionsoft and all of that. And me writing the scripts and directing the videos and making sure it all happens. Now, the high irony in all of this is, if you're familiar, or maybe you're not familiar at all with Scrum, Scrum is brilliant in the sense that it divides up. Traditionally, you have project managers, and project management is a tough gig. And for an entrepreneur like myself, I'm completely, 100% not appropriate to be a project manager. Most entrepreneurs aren't. And it's an important lesson to understand, and a big part of what we were talking about in Achiever Formula. As an entrepreneur, you don't like being managed. One of the reasons that you enjoy entrepreneurship is that you don't want to be told what to do by somebody else. But if that's the case, how can you possibly be a good project manager? Right, so in the software industry, where they figured out this, back in the sort of the turn of the century, 2000, the Agile movement was born. And, when you think about software, software, the development, and apps, look at how often, it used to be that apps or software would update once a year. Now, what they're being updates every 2 weeks, and it's because of this agile process, and it's brilliant, and it's been in the world of software for such a long time, but it hasn't been part of hello all the French, bonsoir for you, it's bonjour for me. But it's a fascinating process, and the key to the process is a couple. First key to the process is that it splits the concept of the manager in two. It has the product owner, which is the person who is responsible for understanding what the clients want. What's the value of this product? They're responsible for determining the order of what gets done. Typically, as an entrepreneur, spoiler alert, you are the product owner. And I'm typically the product owner, because you wouldn't want me running a Scrum team with a 10-foot pole. Although, stay tuned. Then there is it's a colourful term, I just love it. It's called the Scrum Master. And they're the person responsible for making sure the processes get worked. Because, Basically, if you want to be a great manager, it's very simple. I can save you thousands and thousands of dollars of MBA education right now. And it's simply this. You have to ask 3 questions. What did you do yesterday? What are you going to do today? Is there anything stopping you from delivering what you're going to deliver? That's it. That's management. Right? It's all you need to know. If you want to be a great manager, trouble is there's one little tiny itsy-witsy detail. And that detail is you have to ask it to every single person on your team every single day, without exception. Now, here's the thing. As an entrepreneur, you'd rather punch yourself in the face than do that every day, because you think people are like you. You think people, if you say you're going to do something by Friday, you'll get it done by Friday. You will, because you're very personally responsible. Now, if you're like me, you'll get up early on the Friday morning to do it because you will have procrastinated for most of the week, but you'll get it done and you'll deliver it. You're about 5% of people, right? You're about 5% of people that are like this. The vast majority of the world is not like that. And that's cool. Both things are cool. It's not saying anybody's bad or good or better or worse. It just is what it is. But for so many people that I work with, understanding that you're not good at management. So having a Scrum Master, and you go to Upwork and there are well over 1,000 freelance Scrum Masters available for hire. It costs about $19 an hour. Just the best money you could ever spend as an entrepreneur. Anyway, the irony of all of this is, guess what? I'm acting as the Scrum Master for Nathan's launch. And so the launch, and it's touching all available wood, has been running like clockwork because we've been using the Scrum methodology. It's been the smoothest launch I've ever been involved in, and the others that have been working with me on this saying exactly the same sorts of things. And the key, here's how on a Monday, which is tomorrow for me, we will go through the entire backlog, all the things that need to be done, and decide what needs to be completed in the sprint period this week, right? And we'll assign those out to people. Nothing gets put in the doing category without having somebody who's responsible for it. And so that takes no more than 60 minutes on the Monday. Then, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and finally Friday, we have what we call a 15-minute stand-up. Now, we are typical in a software development area, you'd all literally be in a stand-up meeting all in the same room together. Of course, we're all over the joint, so we just get on Skype at 12 midday Australian, and literally takes us 15 minutes, and I literally ask everybody on that call, what did you do today? Sorry, what did you do yesterday? What are you doing today? Is there anything stopping you from delivering what you need to deliver on Friday? And it's amazing, because the other great thing that happens is because everybody's on this call, at least everybody's in the one spot for one moment of the day, then it's amazing how things come up and you say, hey John, can you do this? I need this trigger set on Infusionsoft, or I need this piece of artwork, so we speak to the graphic designer. All of those sorts of things. How's the scheduled posts going? And I need this piece of content. So everybody's there, so it makes it way more efficient. And that makes it very useful. And somebody's saying there are a lot of midges around. I'm surprised you can see that. I must stink. I think it's George. That's it. Hang on. Georgie, are you attracting all these flies? Or is it you, Larry? Are you attracting all the flies, bud? Is that you? Hey? Oh, now, I think it was George. It's George's leg, and it's not getting better, Simon. Sadly. It takes a while to, hang on, I'll turn, come on. Do it, there we are. Simon, this is our weekly vet consult update. Yeah, it's George with the, he's got his front right paw, and after we spoke last week, I actually did some video. And so I'm taking the video to our vet tomorrow to hopefully see what it is. I just hope it's something that's easily sorted out, maybe with a bit of rest, because I do walk him a bit. Now, so that was my week and what I've been doing. Something I want to mention though as well is Snapchat. Now, for those of you who are sort of thinking Snapchat is something teenagers do, I will, Simon. is something that teenagers do. There are a lot of flies here. There are a lot of tiny flies, but that's all right. I will fire on. The thing with Snapchat, and I've been on it for a long time, and it's because of my eldest daughter, Hannah. We went away, her and I, because I figured I took her to 3 weeks, and she went to all my conferences in Europe last year when I was touring around. And because I figured she's at that age, she's 14, where all of a sudden there are going to be other men in her life other than me, and that's happened rather quickly. But it was great. We toured all around, and what was amazing to me was how she was using Snapchat. So I got her to teach me, and it actually is brilliant, right? It's as a way of being able to quickly capture and tell a story during the day in brief little instants. It's fantastic. Yesterday, for example, I thought it'd be funny just to demystify the life of a so-called guru. I thought I'd just document my Saturday so you could see how many trips to dance, netball, orchestra, sort of travelling I'm doing, and walking the dogs and taking down a pool. Very, very exotic lifestyle. But to me, it's a fantastic way. Yes, that was a lot. It was a lot. That's what I do on a Saturday, right? So that, what's great about it, and where I think Snapchat's really good for your audience, is it's a fantastic way to, I see it for me, and I'm sure there's millions of ways to use it, but for me, I like it as a behind-the-scenes sort of thing. And I definitely, like, my stream on Snapchat is definitely, like, if I see something funny, 12-year-old boy, puerile humour, that's going to go on Snapchat, right? That is absolutely going to go on Snapchat. All of those sorts of things, and it really is brilliant. Now, here's the thing, from a marketer point of view. What most people don't realise is you can actually capture that on, you can capture this on the My Story, and you can download it as a video, and then you can upload that video to other places. So, for example, I uploaded it to my Facebook group yesterday as well. So you can actually use it for more than one thing, and it's because it's so quick and it's so fast, which makes it so brilliant. It's just such a superb way of just very quickly capturing things. I don't see it as a huge lead generator, but like podcasts, I see, people who follow you on Snapchat are probably going to be your best clients. And it's just a way of really creating a good connection. So I'm a huge fan of it. And it's got a lot of, in the last couple of weeks, I think Gary Vee talked about it at Traffic and Conversion in San Diego a couple of weeks ago. So I've noticed there are a lot of people getting on it, and I encourage that. I think it really is a great thing. And just for, as I say, when you're on a trip or a holiday, it's just the best way, and I see it as a very humanizing product. And let's face it, think about it. Our world is going to a world of instant messaging. So we need to be able to communicate the way our world's communicating. As direct marketers, putting my direct marketer hat for a second, when you think about the history of direct marketing, it is always lagged, but followed the way people communicate with their best friends. So it was by messenger, and then it was by letter, and then we had telegraph, and then we had phone, and then we had email, right, for faxes, right, then we had email. Now the transition's happening. We're going to messages, right? So Snapchat is a great example of that messaging medium. Instagram, I've been talking a bit about Instagram this week, is another classic example of that. So these are platforms where you are communicating with your marketplace the way they want to be communicated with. Because, and I think I mentioned this last week, amazing fact, 90% of people, which are real people, normal people, civilians, not us, we're strange, access Facebook via mobile. 90% of people, and that's over 1 billion people every single day. So by definition, your audience is on Facebook, which makes it intriguing, and I'll have to do some tests of Facebook Live here too. But it's very interesting that to me, it's these messaging type platforms are important for us to get involved with, and I still use if this and that all the time. Oh, the other thing I got during the week, speaking of weekly retrospective, is I got myself an Amazon Echo. And oh, instant article. Thank you for reminding me about that. Yes, great. I will talk about that. I got an Amazon Echo, and I have to say it is a brilliant product, and I think Apple should be totally Samsunging that thing, except making it better. It's the quality of the microphones on that thing, and just be able to say, Alexa, do this, Alexa, play music. Yes, I've got that functionality right on my phone, but this thing, and because it allows you to add other things into it, it is so good. I haven't ordered any socks yet, or I haven't done any ordering with it, and of course it's not really designed to be used in Australia. It actually works great in Australia, but it's not some of the functionality I just simply can't use because I'm in Australia. Like, I have to set the time zone for Guam because it's the closest US territory to Australia, and it still means the hours out. But it's a remarkable tool in the office, I've got to say, and the directional microphone technology they've got on it is brilliant. So huge thumbs up for the Amazon Echo. Now, Facebook Instant Articles. This is huge, absolutely massive. As I just pointed out, everybody else in the world, not marketers, not us, civilians, are on Facebook and using Facebook, whether you like it or not. And most of them, 90% of them, are now using mobile. And the shittiest experience on Facebook, without question, and I bet you've all done this, I bet you this has happened to you if you use Facebook in the last 12 hours. You've gone to click on an article and it goes off to a website and you wait and you wait and you wait and you wait. It's a pain in the neck, right? You're hearing me? You're feeling me on this? Well, tap on, if you see an article that's got a little lightning bolt on it. So BuzzFeed do it at the moment, The Age here in Australia do it, New York Times I think does it. Tap on one of those and what happens? Boom, instantly the article's there and it's beautifully formatted and it's brilliant. So instant articles is going to be the future on Facebook, and I think all of us need to be publishing our content using instant articles. To that end, stay tuned, because the team that brought you Magcast and Scriptcast is cooking something up, right? Big time, because we think this is so important. Will it replace Magcast, Scriptcast, or any of those sorts of things? Yes, there's all sorts of things you can do. You can pan photos, but more importantly for us as direct marketers, you can put an opt-in in your article. How about that? You haven't seen anybody talk about that. You can put your own ads inside your articles. And what if your own ads are ads for your apps, or what if they're for your products and services? That's where it gets super exciting. So I think instant articles is going to be huge. I think it's going to be one of the biggest. It sort of is doing what Apple News was meant to do, but its execution was horrible. You don't hear me criticising Apple a lot, but Apple News execution was terrible, which is why I'm so glad we developed Scriptcast, because if you're relying on Apple News, the execution of that was just absolutely dreadful. They'll get it right, don't make no mistake, they will get this right, but the execution was dreadful. But instant articles, Facebook have got it right, and come April, they will start rolling that out. But here's the thing, you ask, should we create articles for... No, you don't need to create articles at all. Use your current articles. There's no duplicate content issue with Facebook because it's internal to Facebook, right? Just don't repeat the articles on Facebook a lot of time, right? So that's what's so exciting. So as a Magcaster, as a Scriptcaster, as a blogger, you should be posting, because people aren't coming to your blog anymore. More and more they're not going to your app anymore, right? But to capture people where they are and to utilise the share and so on, and if you can take the frustration out of using Facebook, how many times have you clicked on a video where you think, oh, that sounds like a cool video, and it goes to one of those horrible pages that've got 35 different bloody pop-up things, and it's a horrible experience. This is a great experience, and even better, if I was starting today, would I start a blog? No, I'd start an app. That's, of course I'm horribly biased, but it's the truth. Because desktop, 90% of civilians are accessing Facebook through mobile. End of story. That's the only stat you need to understand. Yet most of us are still focused on desktop-based strategies. And they still work because there's a lot of people on desktop, but there's even more on mobile. It's the future. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next day, but it's the future. We need to have our mobile strategies, and instant articles is going to become a key part of that. All right, folks, yes, I've got to go, and I will speak to you all next week. All right, see you later.